All right, so today we're going to be talking about Atomic Apps for Canvas. To give you a little background, I'm the CEO of Atomic Jolt, and we are a Canvas partner, formerly have been for the last 2 years, and have worked with Instructure since they began. So we have a lot of experience working with Canvas and have worked with a lot of universities and also with EdTech startups, customizing Canvas, integrating other systems with Canvas, creating new functionality for it, and so on. But as a company, Atomic Jolt, we consult with universities and with EdTech companies and build custom web and mobile applications. And now we are beginning to offer these products. And so that's the focus of today's webinar, is to talk about these products that we've built that are add-ons for Canvas, which fill some gaps that we've seen. So the first is Atomic Search, and that lets you search your content. Next is Curriculum Tools, which provides an improved user experience for Canvas modules. The next tool is Atomic Assessments, which simply put lets you take Canvas quizzes and embed them inside of pages to increase learner engagement. Next is the CMS, which lets you easily share content and reuse content. And lastly is the Learnosity Connector. So Learnosity is an assessment engine that has quite a wide variety of assessment types and allows you to align them with outcomes. And so we've built an LTI wrapper around it. We're a partner with Learnosity and think that that provides a lot of interesting opportunities. So those are the 5 tools that we'll be talking about, mostly focusing on search. We'll give you some awareness of these other things. And if you'd like to learn more about each of these, if you go to this page, which is products.atomicjolt.com, which I believe was also referenced in the email invite, you can request more information and demos of each of these tools. So I'm going to focus first on search. What Atomic Search for Canvas does is let you search the content in Canvas, but I'll go ahead and demonstrate that for you now. It installs as an LTI tool, and once you do, you can install it into an account, so it's in every course in that account, or into a single course. And when you do, it adds a course level menu item here, which you can go to search the content in your course. Students can do this, teachers can do this, and then also Canvas admins will be able to do this as well. So I'm here, this is in a math class, and so you're looking for something about linear equations. Do a search, and you can see all the content, all of the items in this course that have that phrase in it. You'll see the title of the search item. You'll see a snippet of the content where that search result showed up, and next to each item is an icon representing the kind of content that is. You can go directly to that, either in a new window or in this window. You can see the content. And so here in this page, there's mention of linear equation. But the point is, with Atomic Search, you can now search your content. Students see only the things that the teacher has published. Teachers can search any content, whether it's published or unpublished. And Canvas admins can search across all the courses in a sub-account. Now, if I've searched in this course, and I remember that, well, it's not in this course, it's in some other course, I can just check the checkbox, and now it's searching across all of my courses. And so that can be helpful if you're teaching the same course again and again. And you can imagine the different ways that this might be useful. If you had made some mistake systematically and needed to find all the places where you did that, or again, as a student, you're wanting to find that answer to the question you have, you can quickly get to it. So we really look at this as a time saver. So it's been installed over here in the course menu, but it also is installed up here in the top right of every page. And this is done through the Canvas theming system. By adding a global JavaScript, you can get that search box to show up everywhere. So wherever you are in a course, that search box is always there, whether you're on discussions or any place, and that just helps you easily get to be able to search from anywhere. Again, something you just makes it more convenient. So that's search. And as I mentioned, if you want to play with this, you can request a demo and we'll install it in one of your courses, and you can play around with it. We've showed this to people at InstructureCon and received some good feedback. People want to be able to see the types of searches that students are doing. They want to be able to know, okay, maybe I need to add some content. People are always looking for this thing. One thing I didn't show was you can do some filtering. So if you're looking for, you find a bunch of different content, but you only want to see pages or files or assignments or something, you can narrow the results to just that. Once you have this installed, you can navigate to it and you can access the documentation for this, which explains how it gets installed, what the features are, what the roadmap is, and all of the other things that you might want to know, such as our compliance with accessibility standards, security, and so on. So we'd be happy to talk with anyone who's interested in this. Okay, so that's search. The next app that I want to show is what we call curriculum tools. In working with publishers, they oftentimes have a large body of content, and they want to be able to use Canvas module system if they're not using their own LMS. But the challenge is that when you have a lot of content and you put it in Canvas modules and you go to a module system, you see all the content at once. This is a math textbook, and you can see that it's got a lot of modules in it. Each of them have a lot of items, so actually finding the thing you want and getting back to it can be a little bit challenging. So what Curriculum Tools does is, again, it adds a new course menu item, which we refer to as Navigator here. And this gives you a Google Drive-like interface for accessing your modules. So you can have a tile view or a list view, and you can see here's all the top-level modules. And then you can drill down into them and see the content underneath. But if you've used modules, you know that you can't actually nest them. So what we've done is add a layer on top of the Canvas module system. So here, this unit 3 has a bunch of lessons in it. So if you just select those units or that content that lives there, you can now just drag it and put it underneath unit 3. Underneath it's still modules, but we're storing this extra layer of information about that. Again, you can do all the standard things you're used to with modules. You can publish and unpublish them. You can flag things private. So that's a new addition that we've made. So as a publisher, you might want to put teacher content right alongside of student content. You don't want that teacher content accidentally showing up. So the curriculum tools has search, just like I already showed you with Atomic Search. But for instance, if you had a bunch of answer keys, you could search for those and see, oh, here's all these different answer keys. Well, I don't actually want my students to be able to see those. One of the things you can do as the author of a course is you can choose the default view that students will access it. Do you want them to see it as this grid or tile view, or do you want them to see a list view? So I'm going to go ahead and change this back to list, and then I'm going to search answer key again. So you can see here's all these different answer keys. And I go, okay, I don't want that to show up for my students. Maybe here's some other resources. So it has that multi-select. And now I can choose to mark all of those as private. Now, when I publish a module or a top-level module, such as this one right here, I go ahead and publish it. It's going to publish everything underneath except those things that I've marked as private. So if I drill down in there, I can see, okay, everything got published except for that answer key, those answer keys that I'd marked private. So that's, again, augmenting that ability to be able to flag things as private so that you can protect them from being accidentally published.
So there's a question.
Okay.
Emily is asking, how are module requirements affected by the Navigator?
Okay, so the question is how are module requirements affected by the navigator? And the answer is they're not, because underneath it's still Canvas modules. So if I drill down into the content, I'm still seeing the same module navigation system that you're used to. And so if you have prerequisites defined, just like normal with Canvas modules, those prerequisites will be enforced. And as far as being able to see those prerequisites, we'll be adding that visual display to the current implementation so that students can see those prerequisites just like they do in the normal module view. So just to recap, the different functionality that this provides is this ability to nest modules. One of the things that I guess I didn't really show yet is that when you're in this grid view, and if you want to have a visual navigation, oftentimes when people create pages to navigate, they will create a visual grid that links people down into modules. Well, you can do the same thing here just by dragging images onto those modules, and now you have that navigation. And so you can navigate visually here, but you can also insert that same navigation functionality inside of pages. So if you're editing, typically you might do something like this on the home page of your course. You might want to be able to put that links to your modules right here in the home page. So here we've added an item to the rich text editor, which allows you to insert that grid. So now when you save this page, you have that the top level navigation items of the course, and so students can navigate directly into that. So that's, we hope, a little bit nicer than having to manually create that grid with HTML and to update it anytime you change the module system. So that's, we let you nest the modules, we let you create a visual navigation, we remember where you left off, we let you work in bulk so you can search across your content, be able to bulk update and edit it, and publish it. We let you mark things as private so they don't accidentally get published. And then the last thing that I'll show you is sharing. So oftentimes a course may depend on multiple LTI tools. And so what we've done is made it super easy to share your content. So you say, share this course. So if you're a publisher, you can do this, or if you're just a teacher, and what you're doing is you're saying, okay, I want to share this with another Canvas instance, which would be someone else's domain. And you could give it a name by 8th grade math for a, and give it a description. And then what you ask for is for a new link. And what it does is it gives you this link that now you can send to someone to share the content with them. So all they have to do is paste that, follow that link, or paste it into their browser, and now they log in, they authorize the content to be imported, and then the content is imported, and any LTI tools that the course depends on are installed for them. So we hope that simplifies being able to share content with others, both the content and the LTI tools that it depends on. I realize we started with a question. Did we have a follow-up on that? Or?
We don't have a follow-up on that question. We have a question about search.
Okay.
About is the search keyword search, or is it specific search? Okay.
Yeah, so we've had a question like, how does the search work? So search has all of the typical search functionality you would expect. So if you search simple words, but maybe the question is it searching for keywords in the content, or is it actually searching the body of the content? So what we do is we index the content, both the title, but we also index the actual content of the item. And so if you come here to our documentation, we list all the different types of Canvas items that we're currently indexing. So right now we index pages, files, assignments, quizzes, modules, and discussions. That will continue to grow based on demand. But yeah, it's searching the content of the actual items, and it's also, it has, wildcard searching So you can search, use an asterisk, and then it's going to find, so I type EX star, so anything that starts with EX searches that way. You can do phrase searches, so if we wanted to look for just exponent password. So it has the standard searching that you would expect. So we've talked about search, we've talked about the curriculum tools. Now let's talk about atomic assessments. So a typical experience with modules might be that you, as a student, you're asked to read multiple pages and then you have a quiz. Or, if you're thinking about your design, maybe you're interspersing the pages. Atomic assessments lets you embed those quizzes directly in pages so students don't have to go to a new page. So here's a page which is giving some information about, and you can see that it has this quiz embedded right in it. I'm just going to go ahead and show you how that happened. So if you're editing in a page, you can access a menu item. I'm going to go ahead and delete the old one out of here. Atomic assessments. And when you do, what you see is the list of all the quizzes that are in your Canvas course. You choose one to insert. You can configure whether or not it's graded or if question answers are shuffled. Add some different options, and then you save and create. And what it does is insert a Quizlet or a little widget directly in that page. So now when you save that, students are going to see that right alongside with the content. And what that can help do is help students engage with the content. You're allowing them to get self-check, allowing you to track what they're looking at. And so a student in here, they can answer and they can check their answer, and it will present the feedback that you've configured in the quiz. They can navigate through those. Let's see if I can get to the end. Once they complete the quiz, they get a report showing what items that they've completed correctly and their percentage. And then depending on if you've configured it to report the score back to the gradebook, it will report a new item in the gradebook with the score. So here you can see there was an original quiz, assignment or gradebook entry for that quiz. But then when you insert it as an inline, it creates a new entry, and that's where it'll report the scores from students directly in there. So again, that's letting you embed your quizzes directly inside of pages to increase student engagement with the content. The way that you author the quizzes is the way you normally do. You just create your quizzes using the normal Canvas quiz interface. So any of those item types supported by Canvas can be used and embedded inside of pages. Did we have a question about that?
Yes. So will there be two columns for that item?
So the question is in the gradebook, you'll notice that there was a column for the original version of the quiz. When I embedded it inside of the page, it created this new one and actually named it, parentheses inline. So yeah, there will be two entries there. That's for now what we're doing. We've heard some people say, well, I want it to report directly back to the same assignment so we don't get two. And we can do that, but there's some complications around that. Yeah, so there's some complications around it. So if that's an interest, you can let me know. But yeah, we're aware that people might want that. So we've talked about search, about the curriculum tools, the assessments, and then the next one is CMS. Like we've got about 5 minutes.
We have another question actually to follow up.
All right.
Let's see, will quizzes.next work with this?
The next instance of quizzes. Yes, it doesn't currently, but it will. So essentially what this is a quiz player that can play QTI, and so the new quizzes next will provide QTI. We'll be able to tap into that. We'll be able to present this that way. So I've been talking with Jason, learning more about what's going on there, and so as that gets rolled out, as you know, as that gets rolled out, we'll make sure that we are integrated and supporting that. Okay. CMS. So the purpose for Atomic CMS is to be able to draw content from anywhere and to use it inside of Canvas, and then to be able to push it from Canvas to other places, whether that be to other users inside of Canvas or other instances of Canvas. Haven't publicly released this one yet, so there's still work to be done, but I can show you briefly what this allows you to do. As you've seen with curriculum tools, we've created this new way to author Canvas modules. With Atomic CMS, what we're doing is allowing you to tap into content that's been shared with you and to be able to use that to insert into modules, but also into pages. So here's a page where I'm working on music theory, and I want to find some relevant content. So you can see that there's a bunch of different items here. One of the things you can do is preview the content before you choose to insert it. But once you find some content you want to insert, you insert it and it's in the page. We have support for a bunch of different types of content. So that was a video, but you could have PDFs, you can have pages that you want to insert iframes. And again, for any of these, you can insert directly or insert it as a link. And so this is drawing right from this repository of content directly into pages. So you can search it using various metadata or just free text search, preview it, and then insert it.
We have one last question.
All right.
So Diane is asking about for the quizzes.
Okay.
If you make them non-graded, can you make them non-graded so they don't appear in the grade book?
Yes. Yeah, you can. The question was, can you make those Quizlets when we embed them non-graded so they don't show up in the grade book? And the answer is yes, you can do that. So back to CMS. So the idea is to be able to draw from content that's been shared to you and be able to use it easily to author pages and modules. As far as the sharing of that, the way that works is if you have some content that you want to share with another person, you can select those items and then choose how you want to share it. And I actually think we've got 1 minute left, so I'm gonna wrap up. So we've talked about search, these curriculum tools, the assessments, the CMS. The last piece, which I didn't get to, was the Learnosity Connector. If you haven't heard of Learnosity, I highly recommend taking a look. They are an assessment engine that provides a wide variety of assessment types, and we've partnered with them to create an LTI wrapper for their assessment engine, which now lets you use their assessments inside of Canvas easily, to assign them to students, to configure them, to get reports based on outcomes, to measure student learning and provide feedback. All right, well, I think we've run out of time, but I'm not sure how. So if anyone wants to speak up with a question, I'm happy to try and answer it.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm an admin for the system, and I think one of the functions that we are looking for is to be able to search across all courses in our system for a specific piece of content. Is that possible, or do I have to be in an actual course while searching for the specific piece of content?
Okay, so the question is, as an admin, how is it you could search across the content? And so we are going to have a release out this next week, which you always love to hear. But we'll add a global menu item here, visible to admins. And so what you would do is you would click on that and you would search, or you could just use the search bar. But because we can know what your role is, we can, and you're an admin, we let you search across all the content. And then we're enhancing these search results, so it'll show you what when you're doing a multi-course search, it'll give you the name of the course. But yes, the answer is yes. You'll be able to do that within about a week's time. We'll have a release that has that function.
Okay. I was a little late to the webinar because I was having technical difficulties, but is that search button, is that in every course? Because when I installed it on our test server, I was only able to see the Atomic Learning, the page. I wasn't able to see the search bar up top.
Okay, so here, this search widget on the top, the way that you add that is through a global JavaScript. So if you come to the search page, you can access the documentation, and inside the documentation, here it says, add the atomic search box to the top right of Canvas.
Okay.
So if you go there, it gives you instructions on getting the global JavaScript that you need to put in there. But if you're interested in doing that, we'd be very happy to work with you. So here's the global JavaScript. So if you want to do the web conference, you could do that. And so what we've suggested for people is that if they have a sub account, they want to put that in, that would allow them to play with it, or like you've done, put it in their test instance or so on. Okay.
Thank you.
We have a question. Are there APIs that let me kickstart Canvas searches remotely through a third-party app, such as JavaScript app, and get back to the search results in, say, a JSON?
Okay. So essentially, you have your own front end that you want to be able to run searches against. I'm thinking, is that the question, Kunal?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Yeah. So we do. I mean, our app uses our APIs, and so if you were interested in doing that, we could. We haven't yet publicly documented how that would work, but if that's something you want to do, get in touch with us and we'll make it happen. Yeah. So a key part of everything that's going on with search is enforcing authentication. So we're happy to do a demo for you to talk specifically with you about how this could work in your instance of Canvas. And we're also, as I mentioned before, we do a lot of custom dev. So if there are some specific needs you have for your Canvas, we'd be happy to talk with you about that as well. But if you want more information, go to products.atomicjolt.com and you can request information here, or you can go into any of these different tools and specifically request information about each of them. Most of these tools, we're happy to install it into your instance or give you a login to our instance so that you could play with it, get familiar with it, and be able to evaluate it back. Well, thank you all, and again, appreciate you attending.